For the second plenary session, entitled Localizing Climate and Sustainable Development Goals, will be delivered by our honorable speaker, Dr. Junichi Fujino. He is from the Institute for Global Environment Strategies, Japan. Following, I would also like to invite our moderator, Professor IR Dr. Haslinda Hashim from University Technology Malaysia. Thank you. The floor is yours.
Okay, Assalamualaikum and very good afternoon to all the participants. Yeah, I'm Haslinda Hashim, Chair of Resource Sustainability Research Alliance from University Technology Malaysia, and I'm honored to be your moderator for this session. Okay, before we proceed with the second plenary speaker, let me share the bibliography of Dr. Junichi Fujino. Dr. Fujino joined IGES as Principal Researcher and Senior Coordinator for Urban Task Force, IGES, since April 2006 and fully moved to IGES on April 2019. Before moving to IGES, he served as Senior Researcher at NIST and one of the main members to develop the Asia-Pacific Integrated Model aimed to assess policy options for stabilizing the global climate. He was the lead author of IPCC Special Report on Renewable Energy Sources and Climate Change Mitigation SRREN since 2000. And he has contributed to policy process such as a member of the Joint Committee on Japanese INDC, Intended National Determined Contribution, under MOEJ and MITI, as well as an advisory committee member of Future City Initiative for Cabinet Office Japan. He also engaged in initiating village where has suffered severe damage by nuclear accident regarding the Great East Japan earthquake in Fukushima Planning Committee since August 2011. Okay. Without further ado, I would like to welcome Dr. Fujino for the plenary speech entitled Localizing Climate and Sustainable Development Goals. Please welcome. The floor is yours, Dr. Fujino.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Konnichiwa. I'm Junichi Fujino from IGES, and thank you very much for kindly inviting me to this very important forum conference, ICLCA'21. I'm very much happy to come back to this conference because I joined this one from the very beginning, what was held in Johor Bahru. And today, I'd like to talk about the localizing climate and then SDGs. So I'd like to share my screen. Now, we will have a COP26 around the next 10 days, and then one of the focus is that is how to develop the zero carbon cities. Some of you may know the Race to Zero campaign by UNFCCC, and then now the UK government asked collective leadership by the cities and then many like stakeholders. And today I also would like to talk about the localizing SDGs later. About the COP26, due to the COVID-19, it was postponed 1 year, but we will have COP26 from the 31st October to 12th November, around 2 weeks in Glasgow, UK. This is a kind of key goal for this COP26 by the host country. So the number one is how to secure global net zero by mid-century and keep 1.5 degrees within reach. And then second, adapt to protect communities and the natural habitats. And then third, mobilize finance. And then fourth, work together to deliver. There are 2 weeks program for the presidency program. So, like first 2 days, they will organize a World Leaders Summit. So then we expect that the many the head of delegation will join this session to get more ambitions and then more like actions to achieve like a 1.5-degree target. It means that it's zero carbon by around 2050. Following this World Leaders Summit, there are several sector issues, sector-wise uh, uh, dates like finance, energy, youth and public empowerment, nature, adaptation, loss and damage, or gender, science and innovation, transport, and then cities, region, and built environment will be held on 11th November. About like zero carbon cities or such as zero carbon actions, UNFCCC, United Nations Framework on Convention on Climate Change, launched the Race to Zero campaign for all non-stakeholders, include cities, since June 2020. Now, already 733 cities joined this race to announce that to declare zero carbon by at least 2050, including 91 Japanese cities. It also declared by KL City 4. KL already developed kind of the zero carbon scenario by the University Technology Malaysia, IGS, and then our collaborative organizations. It's quite interesting campaign to encourage the kind of voluntary approach to invite the non-state actors, so then you can also join this campaign. This is a KL scenario towards zero carbon by 2050. KL already developed kind of 2030 scenario around 2018 for the Kuala Lumpur Low Carbon Society Blueprint 2030. Then KL developed kind of the local plan 2040. It's like a zero carbon ready plan. Then this year, KL declared the carbon neutral by 2050 based on the scenario of the AIM, Asia Pacific Integrated Modeling, support to show these pathways. To achieve these kind of 2050 future carbon neutrality, we start kind of the research and action collaboration among the Tokyo Metropolitan Government and then KL City 4, and also IGS, my organization, and then University Technology Malaysia, UTM, and then SEDA, Sustainable Energy Development Authority, Malaysia, to share experience and knowledge on energy saving through personnel exchange between like TMG care and then experts. Then we survey on the greenhouse gas emission reduction and associated cost, especially air conditioner at this moment. This is a 3 years program since 2019, and now we are conducting the last year program. Before having this program, KL City Hall already developed 70 by 30 action plan by the in collaboration with UTM or IGS and then any others. And then KL City Hall already identified that the building is one of the very big source for greenhouse gas emission from the city. It's a quite similar tendency to such as the capital city or metropolitan cities. So This is the reason why we having kind of matchmaking between like the Tokyo Metropolitan Government and the KL City Hall, because TMG is one of the leading city to promote kind of the energy efficiency improvement in a built environment in the world. In 2019, in the first year of this collaborative partnership, we conduct the kickoff meeting in KL before COVID-19 era. We call it the Tokyo to Kuala Lumpur Low Carbon System T2K or LCS. TMGs have a good know-how on energy efficiency and renewable energy in around 4,000 public buildings. So we try to transfer this scheme into KL fitting to their own condition, because KL also have around 2,000 public buildings. And now KL try to secure her own budget to retrofit the public building, also renewable energy installation. I'd like to explain much more detail. On left-hand side, you can see the Dato Seri Mahadi, the current mayor. He became mayor from the last year, October. The first year, we did kind of a survey using the all the electricity bill from the KL City Hall. And then we found that the roughly 80% electricity used in around the 20% number of buildings. So 80 by 20. And then when we analyze the kind of which part of the usage are bigger in KL City Hall public building, then we found that around 63% electricity is used in air conditioning system, and then 40% for lighting system, or 50% for others. So we share kind of Tokyo Metropolitan Government's advice suggestion with the KL City Hall. What kind of the actions and countermeasures are available for the KL City public buildings? Then we develop kind of two scenarios to reduce carbon dioxide and then identify the how much monetary saving happening. Then we found that even though kind of zero or low cost solution can reduce 35% of the emissions with the 7 million Malaysian ringgit monetary saving per year. Then we identify which building could be used for this scheme. Then we take these kind of steps so far, identify the energy bill for all buildings, as I already explained, and then identify the energy guzzlers or building with large energy consumption, and create an overview of buildings energy use, appliance, building energy index, building use, and then identify appliance with large energy consumption coming up for renewable, and then we roughly estimate the energy saving potential for those retrofits, and then create the procurement plan. Then KL City Hall decide to secure her own City Hall budget for like appliances in 3 main buildings. So now this year she like to check how to spend this kind of budget for the energy efficiency retrofitting. And KL City Hall also identify what kind of renewable energy available in city-wide. And then she identifies the 4 private buildings and 6 government buildings candidate for solar photovoltaics, because similar to all the metropolitan, it's it's something difficult for the KL City Hall to install like wind power or geothermal or hydro energy. So now she look for the potential for the solar photovoltaics, and then she identify these 10 candidates. Uh, Based on this kind of collaboration, Minister of Environment Japan highly appreciate these kind of initiatives by the Tokyo Metropolitan Government and then Kuala Lumpur City Hall. So, Minister of Environment Japan invites the governor of TMG, Tokyo Metropolitan Governor, Governor Madam Koike, also Mayor of Kuala Lumpur City, Dato Seri Mahadi, and then also Minister of Environment Japan invited the leader of Glasgow City Council hold the Zero Carbon City International Forum last March 2021. This is the first one. Then MOEJ will organize a second Zero Carbon City International Forum next year, January or February. Madam Koike mentioned that the TMG itself, herself, she will reduce more carbon, but also she'd like to support the KL City Hall for like buildings climate change actions. And then Dato Seri Mahadi declare carbon neutral by 2050 during this forum with technical support to the TMG. And then the former Minister of Environment, Mr. Koizumi, very much appreciate these kind of collaboration, and then he mentioned that this is the first decarbonization domino case from Japan to overseas, and then he would like to spread out these best practices inside, outside Japan. This is the latest the Tokyo Metropolitan Government policy to achieve 1.5 degree target, so zero emission Tokyo 1.5. She set the 6 sectors, energy sectors, and so on, and then she look for the now carbon half by 2030. This year, we try to complete the kind of ASEAN first comprehensive public building energy efficiency system in KL, and then we would like to apply this methodology to the model district. It's called the Zero Carbon Wansamaji. Wansamaji is located in the north part of the KL City Hall, and then now we are discussing how we can encourage not only public but also private involvement, like Eon Malaysia. Last Friday we have a very good online meeting with Eon Malaysia and then Dato Seri Mahadi for having further collaboration. And during the COP26, IJS will organize these kinds of city-related side events on the 2nd November or 10th November or 11th November. And then Dato Seri Mahadi also joined this number 2, 3, 4 side event. So I will let you know the more details through the email something. Also on our website, so please check it and please join us. This is all the time in Glasgow, so GMT plus 0. And second part, I'd like to discuss about the localizing SDGs, like voluntary local reviews or high-level political forum. Some of you may know this high-level political forum very well, but I'd like to introduce this HLPF shortly. This is a main UN platform on sustainable development, and then it's a central role in the follow-up and review of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, which was adopted in September 2015 at the UN Assembly. And then it is also the process to follow up and review of the all SDGs goals at the global level. And this year, during 6 to 15 July, there is the HLPF 2021 by the hybrid meetings style. And then one of the highlights of this HLPF 2021 is that there are 42 voluntary national reviews are shown during the session. And then including the 13 voluntary national reviews from Asia Pacific, including these right-hand side country. Then Japan submitted the second time the voluntary national reviews. And then in this review, it includes the whole voluntary local reviews from the Kita-Kyushu City or Toyama City, Shimokawa Town, and then Hamamatsu City. During the HLPF 2021, there was the first official side event focusing on VLRs. It's called the Going Local. And then a mayor of Kita-Kyushu City who submitted the first world VLR at the HLPF 2018 had an opportunity to make a presentation. This year, it is also quite a remarkable year for the voluntary local review because in this ministerial declaration, it firstly includes the word voluntary local review, and then it said that this is a useful tool to show progress and foster exchange in local implementation of the 2030 agenda and the sustainable development goals. During the HLPF 2021, there is a session by the UN Habitat and then UCLG. It's called VSR Days event. VSR is a voluntary subnational review. And then Madam Maimuna Moz Sharif, he is now executive director of UN Habitat, had an opening session and then opening remarks. And then, then there is a launching ceremony of the volume 2 of the guidelines for VLRs by UN Habitat and then UCLG. And then in this voluntary local reviews, there is some note that in 2018, New York City and then 3 Japanese municipalities, including Kita-Kyushu, present the first VLRs to the international community. It's a kind of the beginning, starting point of like VLRs. Now, there are a lot of VLRs appeared, and then like from the Asia recently, like Sharam or Surabaya or any other cities to prepare like VLRs. And then I also joined this session, and then I introduced our report, State of the Voluntary Local Review 2021, from reporting to action. This is the second volume of our local, the State of the Voluntary Local Reviews following 2020. And then if some of you have more interest in this topic, you may also visit this IISD website. What we summarize our document are also the latest movement of the VLR. Now the UN DESA, Department of Economic and Social Affairs, which is who has a responsibility of SDG itself, having the like global guiding elements for voluntary local reviews of SDG implementation. So if some of you have interest in a VLR, conduct VLR in your city or in your related city, please take a look. Also, you can take a look at our VLRs for Shimokawa, Toyama, Kitakyushu, Hamamatsu, and I just organized this VLR lab since 2019, and so you can also visit this website or also contact me. And then last question is that how we can combine this localizing climate and localizing SDGs. Then I'd like to introduce our new concept, the local circulating and ecological sphere. We call it local CES. Yeah, we have several topics even though we may call it city, but there are city, metropolitan city, and then also city, countryside city. So how we have a good collaboration among the metropolitan cities and the countryside city. Also, we need to take care about biodiversity or disaster risk reduction or circular economy, and of course the decarbonization. So this is like a trial to understand how we have a circular system in this area. Also, how we will have good contribution to the global level. So it's like a revitalization of the decentralized and connected societies. Last week, I just had a launching ceremony to having the new regional partnership among the several Asia Pacific organization for having the advancing the CES actions. So some of you, if you have interest, please contact us. So we start some journey from 2015. One is Paris Agreement, and then another one is 2030 Agenda. And then there are like NDC, National Return Contributions, and then also voluntary national reviews. Then I just are very much happy to develop kind of the good collaboration for the local climate actions and then localizing SDGs, voluntary local review, because the city is a place that are vulnerable to climate change and can accelerate action for global sustainability. Also, we can show more practical action rather than a national level. So now we consider how we have a zero carbon voluntary local reviews to fit to the Paris Agreement and then a 2030 agenda. So I'm happy to receive any questions or comments or discussions. And thank you very much again for the organizer to inviting me. And then hopefully we can have good science for the global arena from the Asia Pacific. Thank you very much, and then hopefully see you in person in near future. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Fujino, for sharing very interesting activities in realizing carbon neutrality in 2050 in Japan and in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. All right, so we have a question for you. Okay, the first one, do you know that I think you're aware that the SDG has a trade-off. For instance, if for example we want to construct a solar farm, for example, so we need to cut trees. So in this case, actually, it will give a positive SDG 7, but if you cut more trees, then it will give a negative impact to the climate change SDG 13. So can you comment about this?
Yeah, this is quite a very important point that the synergy and trade-off. And so Yeah, like when you need kind of renewable energy in very short time, yeah, it's sometimes necessary to do so, but we may need to also middle or long-term strategy. So then in the very short term, we may have such action, but we also need to think about how to increase the efficiency of the photovoltaic. Then we can reduce the zone area. Also, we can have more technology like wind energy or geothermal or any other alternatives. So how we have kind of transition, this is quite important. And then hopefully we have a good synergy action, but sometimes we also need to consider about the trade-off action. So yeah, it's a good question. And then yeah, this is a real things why we have the SDG 17 goals. Or we don't have always the kind of synergy action. So then, yeah, it's like a really necessary for the good policy. Yeah, thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much for the answer, Dr. Fujino. All right. So we have the second question from Lim Lek Kangs. So he asked about do we need a rocket science technologies to achieve net zero emission target?
Mm.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, what's a rocket science technology means?
Advanced technology. Right.
Ah,
Advanced
advanced
technology.
technology. Ah,
Yeah.
rocket. It's not the real rocket. Oh, no. Yeah.
No, do
Yeah,
we need
definitely.
advanced or
Yeah.
just like a simple technologies can help to achieve net zero emission target? So what is your opinion about this?
Yeah, now we are discussing about kind of the carbon capture and then usage technology. Because when we like to have a 1.5-degree target,
Mhm.
our first target is the zero carbon by 2050. But beyond 2050, we need negative emission in the next 20, 30 years beyond 2050. We cannot just keep zero carbon, but we need to also deep dive even after the 2050. So we definitely need kind of such rocket science to have negative emission like biomass plus renewable energy or also carbon capture storage or carbon use
Yeah.
for materials or any others or even rocket. I mean to cap carbon dioxide and then dispose in the space. So 1.5 degree is quite a challenging target. We don't just mean zero carbon by 2050, but also negative emission after 2050 for 20, 30, 40 years. So yeah, we need rocket science, but also we need kind of the available technology now. And then the current question is that how to diffuse such the available technology in utmost speed. Not only like Japan, US, EU, but also Malaysia or also the ASEAN or Asia Pacific. Then if we have such a good spread it out the available technology, we may need to reduce the like dependence to such the rocket uncertain technology. So, but yeah, very good question. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay. Related to the second questions,
Yes. Yeah.
I think based on your opinion, we agree that actually we need the
Mm,
advanced technology, the rocket science, to
mm,
help to reduce the emission. So in this case, how the developed countries could help the developing countries to achieve carbon neutrality in 2050, because
mm,
you're aware that for the rocket science technology it's
mm,
very very costly, yeah,
mm,
and only the developed countries can afford to
mm.
invest in this technology. So
Mm.
what is your opinion on this
Yeah, yeah,
business?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, that's also quite important point for like a COP26. Next, it will start from next 10 days. And then, yeah, in even though in like in 2050 some country may not achieve like carbon neutrality, but the developed country they must having the zero carbon or negative carbon. Otherwise, in the global total emission cannot be the zero. And then so in at first, yeah, developed countries should, apply such as rocket science technology in their area first, and then for like a developing country, yeah, still there are more cheap or net zero cost technology, like to adjust kind of the usage of the energy in a building, or also how to design the city itself. If you have a walkable city,
Mhm.
you may not need to have car and energy for car or energy for the flight or something. Then you don't need to energy. So yeah, also urban planning or such the planning is also quite essential to have our 2040, 2050 future. Urban planning, yeah, we need such knowledge, so it's cost, but it's not so cost like a rocket science technology. So yeah, so
Yeah.
how we have such the good transition,
Mhm.
and then first transition should be happen sometimes in developed country, but also like a developing country, sometimes you may have more like potential to have development rather
Mhm.
than kind of developed country. In Japan, we already having urban planning so many places. We don't have not so much space to have the green field. So um, this we need kind of like co-design and co-creation, and then collaboration for this field. Yeah, this
Okay.
I'm not quite
Yeah,
sure
yeah.
this is the answer to you, but Hasreda-san, yeah, thank you so much for having
So
very good question. Yeah,
so we need a combinations of the knowledge and technology. Yeah, Dr.
that's
Fujino.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So
that's
we
right.
have to have.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes, yeah, some people only talk about technology, but if we do not apply, adopt technology, it doesn't mean anything. And
Mhm.
then sometimes, yeah, like a lifestyle or also the
Mhm. Mhm.
culture,
Awareness.
behavior,
Mhm.
yeah,
Mhm.
awareness. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's kind of very key kind of the like options to having the zero carbon or SDGs.
Mhm. Mhm. All right. Thank you very much, Fujino-san. Okay. So the next questions from the committee, I believe. So they ask about, in your opinion, do the same science for action will give the same SDG impact for developed and developing countries? So the same science for action will give the SDG the same SDG impact. What is your thought about this, Dr. Fujino? Yeah, since I think IGES is very is leading on the SDG study, so maybe you can share your experience on this matter. Yeah, please, Dr.
What does it mean the SDG? What is the exact point that is you would like to
So for
have?
example, for the
Yeah.
same strategies, same mitigation measures will
Uh-huh.
give the same SDG impact for
Uh-huh.
developed and developing country.
Uh-huh.
Is it will give the same impact, or it will give
Uh-huh.
different SDG
Yeah.
impact? Yeah.
Yeah. It's quite also interesting. It also depends on the conditions of the environment. Yeah, if you have a enough amount of the biomass, and then if you have the good synergy for the forest policy, then you will have the good synergy between SDG 7, also SDG 15, and then SDG 13 or SDG 12. But if, as you firstly pointed out, if you have a competition between like a land use and then a biomass, it's a negative impact.
Mm-hmm.
So, like a country like Austria or also Malaysia, you have a lot of forestry. If you have a good usage of the forest, whole not only the like SDG 12 forestry wooden material development, but also energy use or and then and the carbon capture, then it have good synergy. But if you have the competition between food production and then forest industry or the like energy crops, it's like the kind of trade-off impact. So it totally depends on the like current situation, also the future strategy. So yeah, SDG is quite interesting. So we have a 17 goal, but it has all quite different like phases in the regions and then in the country. So uh, we can learn each other, but we need to adapt the SDGs to the local condition.
Yeah. So yeah,
Very
I agree with you,
uh,
Fujino-san, because
yeah.
I think that is the spirit of localizing the SDG.
Mhm.
So
That's right.
meaning,
That's right.
yeah, we learn from the developed countries and we
Mhm.
bring the technology to our
Mhm.
countries, and we need to localize to get the most impactful results. Yeah.
But
Uh,
yeah, but Dr. Haslenda, you are expert in biomass, and then yeah, sometimes developed country already forget or the like how to say like a very good knowledge from the kind of traditional knowledge. I mean that is the like kind of traditional knowledge know the how to use the land in very well good manner to have the like mulch production of the agriculture. Sometimes we just focus on a single and then high productivity, but it just means that the single and the high productivity. If we have a mulch product, medium size productivity, it means like quite the resilient and then good amount of the productivity. So we need to learn each other. I mean that the developed country cannot do the always the have the good science. We need to think about the kind of the how we learn from the nature and then how we fit to the environment. And then sometimes developed country people forget about it.
Okay, all right. Okay, Fujino-san. So I think this will be the last questions. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, please, yeah. Mm,
In your wide experiences in collaborating with many developing countries in
mm,
tackling climate change, what will be the biggest barriers
ah,
facing cities and communities in rapidly developing countries? What will
ah,
be the major barriers
in developing country.
in tackling climate change?
Uh-huh.
What
Yeah,
will be the biggest barriers? Yeah.
yeah. Sometimes, yeah, like yeah, in our country or even in Malaysia or in ASEAN country, some people may feel that the climate action is expensive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But now, when we look at the IEA, International Energy Agency statistics, um, the last year's investment of the plants, the 80% investment go to renewable energy, and 20% plant only 20% for fossil fuel plants. So now the renewable energy more profitable rather than fossil fuel plant. And then number one country is China. China is the most country to install the renewable energy. And second one is the United States. So these two big countries invest in renewable energy. So things are changing, but some people may have old IO. I mean that is like a Windows 95 or Windows 3.1 or very old the IO. So the old people believe that the renewable is still expensive, but now renewable becomes cheaper. And then if we apply kind of the digital technology or AI, we can more having better and then cheaper renewable energy optimization or control. Yeah, this is a space for our scientists or engineer can contribute. Yeah, so then we have a more safer area or and then a healthy community based on renewable or more safer energy. So yeah, I think this is the kind of how to update our OS.
You mean mentally prepared? Eh? We need to
Yes,
change
mentally
our
prepare. Yes, change
perceptions,
our
our
yeah.
perceptions towards.
Yes, like to fit to the Windows 10 or like Apple iOS something latest one, how to update our IO. It is
Our mind.
also how we can prepare our such a system, social system, social
Okay.
technology system to the next generation. This is our challenge.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Fujino.
Thank you
Maybe
very
you
much.
can, what will be your last words to all the participants to help, to reduce the climate change? Maybe you have the final words,
Mm.
or yeah, to all the participants in
Ah,
order to help tackling the climate change. Yeah,
Yeah,
Fujino.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yes, we need to. Yeah. I know that you are creative, and then be creative, keep creative, and then also be together with kind of community. Yeah, this is the whole climate, I think. Thank you very much.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Fujino Science, for
Thank you
very
very much.
insightful sharing today. Yeah. We hope that we can meet each other physically, maybe next year,
Yeah, yes,
and we
I love
can
to go back
discuss more
to
about this
Malaysia and then
interesting topic.
ASEAN.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you
And
very much.
yeah, take care and stay safe. So
Thank
over
you.
to you, our MC. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Hasalenda.
Thank you very much, Dr. Junichi Fujino and Professor Hasinda Hashim, for the great session indeed. Thank you. With that, we will be concluding the live session for ICLCA 2021 today. But ICLCA is far from over. I would like to request all the participants to log in to the comment system and keep yourself active, participating in all the exciting parallel session of ICLCA. For tomorrow, the third and the fourth plenary session, award ceremony and closing ceremony will be held from 3 to 4:30 p.m. GMT plus 8. I repeat again, 3 to 4:30 p.m. GMT plus 8. Using the same Webex link, and also it will be made available live in ICLCA Facebook and YouTube. For the participant who is now in Webex, I would like to request that you stay on Webex platform for another 5 to 10 minutes after this section is complete. With that being said, I, Waishin, the MC of ICLCA 2021, thank you all and see you again tomorrow. Goodbye. Stay safe.